Today is 98 degrees and humid. Right now it's a little cool in the shop. We came in really early to try to get some work done, and today we're working on this Cadillac Eldorado. I already started buffing the hood out. You can see the paint's pretty beat up. Started to buff it here. Use the Super Duty. Did it two steps on the hood. I'm gonna buff out the hood first so I could see if it's worth it. Obviously the car needs to be repainted. However, paint jobs are expensive. This is for a friend, so we're gonna see what we could do. So I already went through and hit this with the wool pad and Super Duty compound. You gotta be really careful with wool pads and Super Duty compounds, especially on old paint, because it'll go right through. So I went through and just hit it light. You kind of need that. It's an old school car with old school paint, so you kind of need some old school. We used that, and it did. It took a lot of the scratches out and brought a little bit of shine. Now I'm just jumping over to the foam pad, and I'm hitting it with our first stage of compound. So if you're wondering why we aren't accepting work from anybody, that's one of the reasons. It's so hard to get stuff done in the course of the day. Literally, the second I start buffing this, UPS comes in, I have to go pick up the UPS truck. So now, let's get back to work, the things we love doing. All right, so I'm gonna move to the second stage foam, our third stage of, our second stage with the foam pads, which is actually gonna be our third stage. So we did wool pad, and we're doing 2 foam. I'm gonna go through and do like we do on a normal car, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever the steps are, just so we can see the difference of it. I don't think it's gonna really change much because this paint is so shot, but we'll try it and see. Down in between each stage, make sure there's nothing from the previous buff job. Now I really didn't notice a huge difference between the stages. I mean, obviously step 1 was the biggest step change. However, now it's just slowly getting better. Like if you step back and also you look at it, you go, oh, well, it's definitely a lot better, but it's just not getting where I want. I'm gonna put this third, which is our 4th step on right now, see if that does anything. If it doesn't really do a lot, I don't think I'm gonna go through and do the other 4 or 5 stages, because I think it's just gonna be a waste of time, but we'll try. All right, so that was the 3rd, 4th step there. It was our 3rd step with the wool pad, and at first it kind of seemed like it wasn't doing anything, then it did, then it almost made it look like it kind of stepped back where it started to absorb into the materials, absorbed into the paint, because the paint's so shot. It's hard, I love doing this, so I'd like to do the next couple steps just to see what happens, even though I don't think it's gonna do anything. But we'll try it, we'll do a few more steps. Okay, now we're moving to the polisher at 4800. I don't think this is gonna do anything, but we're gonna try it. I'm using a new pad. I wanted to use my old pads on this because this paint is so shot, but unfortunately, trying to be a nice guy, we hired someone that I grew up with to come work and help us out, and he ended up stealing all of our buffing pads for some reason. Stay off of drugs, kids. They're not good. So let's try this out. You only need a little bit, less is more. Actually is noticeably different. Let me see if I can show you that. Okay, so you can see the paint is definitely shot, but if you look, I don't know if you can see that, there's actually, it's hard to show on here, but it actually is deeper. You can see a color difference from the step 4 to the polishing. So we're gonna polish this whole thing out and see how it looks. pretty good. Better than I thought. I'm actually gonna go through and do one more step on it. If you go to atomicautoworks.com, we're starting to do like a step-by-step how-to, and we're gonna put down all the products that we use. We're not sponsored by anybody. If we were, we would tell you first. It's just kind of funny because for, I don't know, in the 80s and 90s, I used to always use 3M products in the beginning and finish with Meguiar's. No matter how many times I tried different stuff, it just wouldn't work. And over the years, the Meguiar's reps would say, listen, use ours from A to B. 3M reps would say, use ours from A to B. And then you flash forward to now, 3M owns Meguiar's, and they have a setup which is pretty killer. And it starts with 3M and ends with Meguiar's. But it is great. I'll put the actual on our atomicautoworks.com. You'll be able to go through and see. We'll show you the step-by-step guide. One thing to remember is, I always recommend having professionals do the work, just because certain things like this, you could really mess your car up, especially on older cars. Well, even newer cars. If you were to take a wool pad like we did with a Super Duty compound, which is unheard of, we use it because we use a lot of gel-coated products when we make our products and stuff. But for something old school like this, it cuts it quicker. It kind of is a more mechanical sanding, where it actually takes the surface and kind of sands it smooth better, which I kind of like on older cars. And then from there, we jump to our foam products, which are more heat and material manipulation. It's kind of from the heat, it melts it and moves around. Does all this magical stuff. On autoworks.com, you can check it out. You'll see the step-by-step video. Obviously, is up on YouTube. And I'm gonna have to go through, before I stop, I'm gonna do one more stage, and I'm gonna show you really good, kind of like before and after. And all right, so I'm gonna reduce my speed a little bit on this orbital and put the final polish on here. Now it's different, like if we were doing a show car, we do like a lot more steps. This one here, I'm just gonna finish this one off on here. This is kind of curious, just because I love doing this, and just when you take that older car and you really make it look good. It's like, huh. So let's try this. So I can kind of see, what's funny is I can already see it. It actually is deepening up again, which is kind of incredible. So you know this is more of a chemical thing than it is a mechanical thing, that by using these materials, it's actually darkening it up. It's not really getting a better, well, it's getting a better shine actually, but it's not really cutting the surface, but it's just giving a nice bright shine. So I'll finish this up. Show you spray here, kind of wipe this girl down and see what it looks like. So hard when you're doing this, because in between each steps, I guess it's kind of like watching your kids grow up. Each step of the way you don't notice it, and then all of a sudden you realize, wow, look how big they are. Same thing with buffing. Each step you don't really notice a huge difference, but then at the end you're like, wow, it actually made a huge difference. So again, this paint was shot. It needs to be repainted, but we're gonna make it look good for them. I'm almost out of the section spray here. So now I'm gonna do the rest of the car. This probably, to do this right, is probably a long, long full day. It would be nice to come in one day and really cut and do all the wool pad heavy buffing, get that part done, and maybe go to stage 1 and stage 2 and then finish up the rest the next day and do some of your hand detailing. But if you heard me about the wool pad, or our missing pads, it's kind of funny, because the reason I stopped working on cars for people is because I loved doing it, and I stopped loving to do it. And now, when you start doing it, not for business, but for yourself or for friends, it's really enjoyable. I tell you, I highly recommend doing this yourself, just because it's a fun project. You know, like I said, I recommend going to a professional all the time if you don't feel you have the ability to do it, but if you do have the ability, this is kind of a cool thing to do.
Who are you talking to? Alright, so I was about to text you.
Constant interruptions, that's what I'm saying. Just had a customer come in. It's so hard, because even though we're not accepting work, I have customers I've been doing work for since I was like 17 years old, and always will take care of them, but it's just funny. It is amazing. Like, anybody who's in business doing cars and restoration for a living right now, God bless you, because I know the pain. Trying to find help, trying to find good help, it was tough. And then it got worse and worse and worse. And what was funny is, before Corona, it was tough. It was really tough to find skilled labor, talented labor, people who knew what they were doing. During Corona, it got to a point where nobody was coming in for work. Even the crackheads weren't coming in. But like over the years, we've had some people, and you know, one of the guys that really bothered me was a guy I grew up with that, you know, he needed a job, said he was getting his life together, new body work and all this stuff. We gave him a job. He comes in and then starts stealing stuff. He's like nodding out at work because of his, you know, whatever drug he was on. It's horrible to see people like that. It really hurts you. And two, it hurts you more when it's someone you grew up with and you know them and they're a friend. And then 3, when they turn out and they're stealing from you and they're just not a good person. And then when you have to let them go, turn around and blame you for not being a good friend. You know, it's insane. It's tough. So that's why you see my videos, I'm going from transitioning to not working on vehicles for anybody except for myself or my friends, because it's just, I love it. I put my heart and soul into this. As you can see, I could have got away with doing a 1 or 2 step and shipped it down the road and said, here you go, you know, here's your car, and you probably would have been happy. But I want to do it right because I enjoy doing it right, and I like experimenting and seeing, you know what, like I didn't think this paint, because I thought it was shot, would get better and just even get better. Actually, when I went outside and I just got interrupted, it was for Nico over at Moore Brothers in Portland, who's a great shop, awesome people. We've been doing work for them since I was a kid, and I super recommend going over there for body work, for buying cars, motorcycles, all that type of stuff. But we were talking about the same setup, and he goes, yeah, isn't it funny how when you get to the orbital polishing stage, you would think nothing's gonna happen, but each stage deepens the paint. And it's really cool because you just don't think it's going to do it, and it always does it, just like it did here. And again, this car needs to be repainted, but let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you. So obviously this is the driver's side that we didn't touch, right? And we got some compound that's slung over here, but for the most part, this is what it looks like. And then we're going to get over to where we did it, and you can see it's definitely shinier. Let's back up here. You can see it's a lot. Actually, you know what? That picture is really good. It shows a huge difference. You know, obviously this car needs to be repainted, but it's shiny. It looks like it was a synthetic enamel back in the day, which is not a great paint.